Hello, everyone. I am back with another episode of People's Unique Collections. I thought I would take some time to interview people and the different things that they collect and give them a place to showcase some of the more interesting things. I'm here with Brandy today. She is going to show us her watch collection. And so go ahead and tell us how you got started.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm excited about this series. I think it's neat. Like you said before, these usually are hidden away from the public, so I think it's really cool to have this opportunity, so thank you. I started just collecting watches because I thought time is the universe's most valuable gift to us, but it's much like Mother Nature. Time is finite, and she's not going to tell you when yours expires, so it's a gift that you have no idea when it expires. So I take time very seriously. I am one of those people that does not like being late. I do not like people who show up late. I just started collecting them first just because I enjoyed them, and then now as my collection grows, I get more and more unique ones along the way.
That's really cool. So let's talk about maybe the first watch or the one that's most unique to you.
Okay. Well, firstly, I don't really like digital watches, so I do have one or two digitals, but I prefer the analog because much like, you know, how candles started out as a tool for light and then morphed into a tool for smell, analog watches have kind of just gone out of time, which is ironic to me. Time, it tells time, but it no longer needs to tell time. So I do stick to the classic analog look. And then honestly, again, over time, female watches are so tiny that I can't see them. So I actually started collecting more and more larger men's watches, and they just get cooler stuff.
The ones you can see from space.
Yes, they get really awesome, cooler, bigger screens. Girls' watches are pretty. I do have some pretty ones, but I do start leaning towards the bigger and, of course, more sturdy. So my favorites right now are, if you want to open this up, the silicones. I wear this silicone one every day. It's sweat absorbent, so it's functional and cool looking. It's like spacey. I don't know if you want me to pull them out.
Yeah, sure. You pull them out and I'm a little closer
camera,
to the...
Yeah.
As I lean forward too to see the watch that's
see the
4
watches
inches in
back
front
here.
of me.
So this one is my everyday go-getter, and then I have several other silicones, including, like we talked about, the little girly dainty one. And then which one did you want me to pull out?
Well, I know you had mentioned your grandmother's watch.
Yes. So hi, Grandma. This one's very special to me. One, because my grandmother doesn't give anybody anything, so if she gives it to you, you better keep it forever. This is also the oldest watch I own. She had that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, through most of her marriage. So one of my last visits to see her in Virginia, she gave me that watch. And of course, it no longer works, but it is the most cherished watch in my collection.
That's cool.
And what I've really started liking lately, which I think are the coolest ones, are the ones that are see-through. So you can actually see into the fixings there and how it works. Which is kind of funny. I'm a very anxious person, but I still feel like this watch, it shows you every second. So you're like, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? And why would you wear that on your wrist? But I also think it's cool because it does show you just how finite your time is.
I also like how the mechanical workings of it. Like, that's with some of the watches, you just see the number piece and you don't see what goes on inside.
And how it actually works.
And what's inside of a watch is really cool, especially how they...
I wish they could see it. Yeah, it's really neat. And then this is one of the older style ones where you actually have to wind it up. Mm-hmm. So you have to wind it 12 times to actually get the time, whereas the newer ones are battery powered. So I do have several of these, which are really awesome.
I see you have one of the ones where the numbers fell.
Yes, this one's just ironic to me because, again, I'm never late, but it says whatever, I'm late anyway, and all the numbers are jumbled down, which I find funny for me to wear.
I'm also big on not being late. And that's...
Yes. It's just that, to me, it's one of the most rudest things you can be because it's saying I disrespect your time and my own, you know?
Also, too, you're not going to get it back. So whatever time you spend sitting around is time you could have
been more productive, been more creative, exactly, or spent more time with someone. So it's really important to me.
So do you have a certain theme? Like, how do you pick the watches that you collect that
The balance in my bank account? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's most everybody's collection, I think.
What's on sale on Amazon? No. Originally, when I first started, no. I just had several, and then I went through a phase where I became a minimalist, and I slowly went through every single thing I owned. And by the time I got to the end of that journey, I realized there was not a single watch that I wanted to give up. And as you know, Marie Kondo and all the minimalists will tell you, being a minimalist doesn't mean getting rid of everything. It means keeping only what matters. So the collection grew by itself upon me slowly getting rid of things that didn't matter. I realized this is what matters.
And that's what
I think my cat might make an appearance.
I think that's what happened with my Wonder Woman collection. Is I had a big collection of all different female action figures, and then as we moved and stuff, it was a pain to transport them all the time. But also, they were just sitting in a box. They weren't being even looked at by me. Like, they were just sitting in a box somewhere. So it's, you know what, sell them. Somebody else will buy them. And then what they do with them is their business. But at least it's not, I didn't spend all this money, throw them in a tote, and then stick them out in the garage. So
Exactly. I had that problem. I used to collect stuffed animals, and I realized there's no one enjoying them. And unfortunately, with stuffed animals, they deteriorate. So if no one enjoys them now, they'll never get enjoyed. So those I started donating children's places. But these, analog time, as long as you have the batteries, or the wind up.
So I want to talk about one. I'm sure Beth Sullivan will see this, and everybody knows she's a big Disney fan. And we did her Disney Ears was the first episode.
I
so
loved
you
it,
have
by
a
the
couple
way.
Disney watches, but the one that you told me about, this one, was really interesting.
Yes, I do have, my whole family are Disney fans, and I do have several Disney watches. I have, of course, the classic Mickey, which is hard to see, but I do have the classic Mickey right there, where it's the black and white Mickey and the New Age Mickey. And then another gift from my aunt is Tigger. You gotta love Tigger. And then the most recent one was Minnie Mouse. This is a gift from my domestic partner. This is a bright red, spunky Minnie Mouse. This one is very special. This is from the Disney Institute. So the Disney Institute is a leadership program that you can apply and go through. And once you complete it, you receive this watch, which is, it's very rare. You cannot buy this watch. I'm sad to say I did not go through the Disney Institute, but my Aunt Polly did, and she cherished it. She's actually taught me a lot about leadership training from what she learned, and then gifted me the watch for my collection.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
And we do have some of different watches down here that aren't yours, but they're still in your collection, so they count.
They are in the collection. They're still taken care of in the collection. My boyfriend had a few of his own. Then I started gifting them to him, and then he started adding as well. So I kind of got him hooked on watches also.
Yeah, see, he has the like I like the inside of the face. There's a
Absolutely.
blue watch with a gold, like the gold workings.
And I like the band on this one too. This is a nice sturdy.
Is it the metallic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice sturdy band.
The only problem I hate, if you have hairy arms, metallic bands are
Yeah.
not good. They always catch and they always pinch. That's
But
why.
see on this, it's just so much bigger of a display than a woman's watch. Like, it's like pockets. Women's pockets are nowhere near big enough. Our
Or
watches aren't either. People make bigger watches.
Yeah, because even I see some of your bigger women's watches are nowhere near the size of some
Of the
them.
men's watch.
Of the
Exactly.
men's, so.
They're much bigger. And then we have this new one gifted to me this evening.
Yep.
I'm very excited about this one.
I had a watch that was just sitting around, and I had bought it when I was in Afghanistan in 2010. I had got it off the side of the road from somebody who was selling real watches, and the tip of that is if you're in Afghanistan and Iraq, everything is fake. Everything sold is knockoffs. They don't sell any original pieces. So I bought it. It's been sitting in my studio. So I figured somebody that collects watches, it would be pretty cool to have, and it just wouldn't be eventually gotten rid of or broken because I was moving stuff around. So I thought it was a cool piece to add, and somebody will enjoy it that's going to look at it
And appreciate it.
and appreciate it, and not somebody that has it buried underneath all their fashion stuff and then finds it whenever they move something and goes, oh, I do have a watch.
I do have
So,
that thing. Well, I appreciate it. It will be loved. A few of these watches are similar stories. People who are like, well, if you'll take care of it, and obviously. They are very well maintained. They are all supposed to be off while stored. That's very important about storing watches. But
Yeah, see, mine was just like you can't see it in the case, but the band, because it's kind of a rubbery plastic band and it's just sat out. It's kind of dry rotted in some places.
now it'll be a nice air control
Yeah, it'll be in the
security system with
it'll be in
fancy,
a nice case
fancy
instead
key
of-
here. Yes.
Um,
All right.
so that's really cool. Let's see if we have any other watches that are interesting. I mean, they're all interesting. I don't want to be like,
Yes.
oh, you have some boring watches, but
So we're a little
I'm sure
boring.
this is not one, but I've seen that they're making watches out of wood now.
That's actually that one and this one here. I didn't read the description well, and I thought that's what they were. But I went to Wish.com.
So Wish, you ordered a wood watch.
I ordered a wood watch for $1 and thought that it was made of
You
wood.
got one of those linoleum watches. That's
Yeah.
from Wish.
So those are some of the. That's kind of when I started really paying attention to what I was collecting and not just buying them for quantity, and started really collecting for what they look like, how they feel, rather than just a watch. And I do believe there is only one digital. I did have, we're talking about historical watches. I did have an Apple Watch. I got one when it was, cool, and I hated it. It was pinging at me all the time. I couldn't see it unless it turned the light on. I didn't like it, so I sold it.
Yeah, I have it now. It does help because I like to listen to the radio and I always have the GPS on. So it does help to have one of the other going on. So I'll usually have the GPS up on the phone and then I control the music through the watch. But it does beep constantly.
So you do use it.
Yeah, I do use it.
Nice.
Not
I
so
couldn't
much.
stand the beeping.
Not so much during COVID because everything stopped, so I wasn't driving as many places, or I was
Yeah.
only driving to like 2 stores, and I know the way, so I can just put music on and I don't have to worry about getting lost.
Yeah.
But it is nice to have the watch. I didn't wear it today.
Give
kinda-
me all the glory.
So with Apple, they have updates for the watch as well as the phone. The Apple Watch storage, which I put only one app on it, says that I cannot store it because I have insufficient memory, that I have to delete some apps, but all of the apps are factory apps from Apple. So it's a whole process. And
Yeah.
when I did some research, and it was just the old turn it off and turn it back on and see if that works. So
Yeah.
I believe it was updating when I left the house. So
So it might be ready tomorrow.
who knows? Apple comes out
Never
with a
know.
new update.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the iPhone 6, so I'm sure once the 12 comes out, they're going to start getting rid of
Yes.
the support for it. Because I know when the 11s came out, I think the 5s were
Discontinued.
discontinued.
Yeah, discontinued support.
I'll have to
I
upgrade
have the
soon.
11 Pro, and
So,
I got it for the video capacity.
so this watch is this. Whoops.
It looks very army, doesn't it?
It does.
Very military. His are very military, which is another reason why we appreciated the watch from you. It even has like that.
Which I think I have
Army
one of
strap.
the old Army
Straps.
watches that I used in basic. I don't know if it's at my house or at my parents' house, but if I find it,
It's like a green army band.
it's I have a it's a big Ziploc bag full of the stuff I kept from the Army. I didn't keep much. When I got out, it was gone. So I kept just special things from there. So I think I have one of the old original Army watches.
I call this one his bling.
That is a
It looks
fancy
like something
watch.
50 Cent would wear.
Oh, that's-
So it's got a gold internal. It's the same mechanical workings, but gold. And then this one also has added features. That's the other thing I noticed too about men's versus women's watches is men's will have, multiple dates or time zones, and women's are just
You get the time. That's it. Maybe
Yeah.
the date. I think I see a couple that have like just a
you
number.
get the time, yeah.
You get the time. But no, the men's watch, like it has the star constellations you
Yeah.
can see.
The phasing of the moon's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it has like how deep you're gonna go underwater.
Yeah,
has-
exactly. And they're all waterproof, exactly.
Yeah, the women's watch, you get time, maybe a date. Actually, I don't think I see
No,
on any
I
of your
think all-
analog. So I'll
This
just-
is the only analog one I have.
Oh, not that's
or,
digital.
Digital one I have, but no,
But-
I don't think I have. Even
No, I
on
don't
my
see any.
mechanical one, female watches are
You have one with diamonds though. You get diamonds in your watch.
I mean fake diamonds, but yeah, those are very. Here they even shake. How fancy!
Ooh. So one of the next watches you have to get, I see it ever so often. It's the it's the backward, like it has some character on it, but the watch
Yeah.
hit time, everything is backwards on it. So
Excuse me. I'd also like to own a left-handed watch. I think left-handed things are ridiculous. They get really extreme with left-handed things, but I think just for the collection purposes.
So what is the difference between a left-handed and a right-handed watch?
Well, a real left-handed watch, it's all backwards.
Okay,
so
so
the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it goes the other way. The other thing I've noticed too, and this is just personal, are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right.
You're right-handed, so you wear your watch on your left hand.
Yeah.
So when you put your watch on, you can adjust the time easily. But when I wear a watch as a left-handed person, I cannot. I have to then bend around
Yeah, you have to.
and do that. So
That makes sense.
even if they left the time the same way, but then put it over here and made it a lefty watch, that would
Because
be
that's the iPhone asked if I was left or right.
right-handed.
And I mean, usually, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Because most of the time I wore it on my left because
Because you're right-handed.
I
You
would
need
shoot
that
with this hand. But
hand.
if I had to switch over and primarily be on the left-hand side and shoot with my left hand, I'd always put the watch on the right. So, but I never adjusted them. They were always just
they were just there.
they were just there. And
That's cool.
the time was the time. There was no.
Yep. I think that's. I can't really see the one on the edge here.
Listen, they're all pretty good. One with seashells. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got
You have
seashells.
to-
I have a couple elephants. I do love elephants.
We have is this a panda? Or
It is a panda.
Okay, it's a panda.
That's a panda. I'll show the camera that one. That's a panda. This is another Wish, from China watch. Took 6 weeks to get here.
We
but-
should have Nicholas come in and sing the panda song and credit it to Holly.
Yes. And then this one is another one from my grandmother. This one is a cat chasing a mouse around.
Oh, I like
edge.
the mouse.
Yeah, so the mouse is the hand in it.
Panda,
chasing-
panda, 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 panda.
But yeah.
No, this is a really impressive collection. And again, I wanted to show that you don't have to have a giant 1,000-piece collection.
Or
There's
a financially advanced collection.
Yeah,
Because that's important to some people, and that's not important to me. So.
yeah, and like I said, this is just watches that you picked, and they're all nice, and
Yep.
you'll get more. And
Yep, there's plenty of empty space.
So-
So I will be filling it up.
I just wanted to showcase, because some people do, some people have very small collections, and I just want to give them a place to show it off. I'll probably eventually do mine, but that's a little bit of an undertaking.
It's like a multi-series
That's-
thing.
There's a lot of Wonder Woman figures,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to pick my favorite, because as I get new ones or
Exactly.
people give them to me, I don't want to be like, oh, thanks for this one, and then just throw
And
it
you
in
have
the bag.
6 of it, yeah,
Yeah.
a pile in the back,
So-
yeah.
All right,
All right,
everyone.
well, thank you for having me. This
No
was
problem.
Really
Thank you
fun.
for being on. And
Hold on.
Okay.
what, Nicholas? Make it quick. Come around so people can see you. I don't want to talk
For
to
my
you.
next video, we'll talk about my collection of cats.
Come here, Nicholas. Come around. You gotta come. Can you? Yes.
Say hi.
All right.
Hi,
What's your
YouTube.
thing?
Do you want to show your collection of motorcycles?
Well, she doesn't have quite a collection of motorcycles yet, buddy. And that might be another installment of the video.
Yeah, not quite yet.
All right. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being on. If you would like to be featured on my small little YouTube channel, just let me know. I will show any kind of collection as long as it's age appropriate, because Nicholas will be around
Yeah.
for most of the videos. So I don't want to have anything that's inappropriate. Plus, YouTube is weird.
Collections shouldn't be
Yeah.
displayed.
And YouTube will get me in trouble, so I don't want to be in trouble
Right.
with YouTube. Also, there's some collections I just don't want to see. I mean, it might be unique and you're proud of it, but
Yeah.
I don't want to see your
Absolutely.
fetish collections. So,
And scene.
yeah, and that's all the time we have for today. So, all right, make sure to check out my YouTube channel and just hit the subscribe and the like button just to help me get more views and get more people on. And I will see you next time.